If you've been around this channel for a while, you know that there are two players we have been championing on for quite some time. One of them is Captain Cravon, the other is Boston Scott. Both of these players received film rooms upon signing with the Philadelphia Eagles, and there was a lot of hype around them. I adored going through their tape. There is something about an undrafted free agent with a tenacious mindset and a very raw skill set that just fascinates me, and I love seeing some of those players battle onto NFL rosters. And when it comes to the Eagles in particular in recent years, they have done a brilliant job at developing some undrafted free agent running backs. Just take a look at Clement in the 2017 season, where of course he had a stunning game in the Super Bowl. You fast forward just a little bit and you've got the development of Boston Scott, and now 1 year later you have another man who may be looking to cause a rift in the backfield. The Eagles clearly have a need to replace Jordan Howard. They toyed with the idea of signing a veteran, but clearly want to pay far less than what said veterans want to be paid, and that leaves them in a little bit of a sticky situation. But there is one man on their roster who may be looking to buck that trend and say, no, keep on developing undrafted free agents, I'm your guy. And that man is former Georgia running back Elijah Holyfield, who is now entering his second year in the NFL. But does he have what it takes to become a prominent fixture in the Eagles backfield? That's what we're going to be finding out today, guys. So strap yourselves in. It's time for another episode of Eagles Film Room. Before we get started, as always, a massive thank you for taking some time out of your day to watch this content, especially in a period as stressful and tumultuous as this. I hope that you and your families are all safe at this time. If you do enjoy the content and could take a couple of seconds to hit that subscribe button, it is the best way to support what we do. We are so close to 20,000 subscribers now, and we would love to have you as part of our community. Your support through this period has meant the absolute world to us, and if you're not already, do make sure you're checking out our work over at phillysportsnetwork.com. We have original content every single day, and we would love for it to become your new home of Philadelphia sports coverage. It's where you can find content from myself and all of our other writers over at Philly Sports Network. So who exactly is Elijah Holyfield? Well, he is the son of boxer Evander Holyfield, so I guess we could say he packs a punch. I'm sorry, it had to be done. He weighs in at 5'11", 215 pounds, and came off the back of a relatively eccentric career with Georgia. Holyfield rushed the ball just 6 times in 2016 as a true freshman, and that jumped to 50 in 2017, but he shared the load with DeAndre Swift 1 year later. Somehow, despite that, he racked up 1,018 yards on 159 rushing attempts, scoring 7 touchdowns in the process. Perhaps his nasty mentality and vicious downhill style had a little bit something to do with it, but by the time the NFL Combine rolled around, it looked like he needed a big day at the office. He ran nearly a 4.8 on the 40-yard dash time, ended up dropping passes, and just looked a little bit sluggish in agility drills, and this caused him to slip down the boards rapidly, and he ended up going undrafted, landing with the Carolina Panthers. That is where our story picks up, and in the preseason, Holyfield showed he was just as much of a bowling ball there as he was in college. The man just does not want to go down. Many would view this as a dead play or say that the offensive lineman carried him, but imagine a group of 300-pound linemen pushing you forward. It's hard to retain balance. The contact balance that Holyfield has is really impressive. That is his ability to keep those legs churning. Take a look at this example against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He does a brilliant job of meeting the defender in the hole and saying, do you know what? I'm going to freeze you, I'm going to beat you to the outside, and I will beat you with a sheer power of will. I will go through you to get over that first down line. And it doesn't matter whether he's inside or running outside. Holyfield will carry that same level of physicality with him. Just good luck trying to bring him down. Now, Holyfield doesn't have the quickest gear shifts in the world, nor does he have the greatest vision, but he understands where to stick his foot in the ground. Here is where you see someone like maybe a Miles Sanders or a LaShawn McCoy either cut to the inside or try their chances bouncing outside. Holyfield says, not today, I will go straight through you, I will drive, I will push, I will keep those legs going until I can't go no more. And while he may only have 215 carries at the collegiate level, it was against SEC level competition, and if that physicality shined there is a good chance it translates to the NFL. The way he just lowers his pads into contact, the way he's so square fair in meeting opponents head on. He wants to drive through people, and you can see that very early on in his tape. He keeps a low center of gravity and always has his head down. He is a hard-nosed runner by definition. But one of the most underrated aspects of his game, and something we got a brief flash of in that other play, was that he can manipulate defenders relatively easily. For instance, if you look at this is Quinnen Williams, an NFL level talent. He's looped around the outside of the left guard, so what Holyfield does is push through the middle and stop, and that forces Williams to the inside, opening the hole to the outside where he can then burst through. It's a very intelligent split-second decision to make, and one that was also reflected in the game against Kentucky. Now, what Kentucky are going to do is actually condense their formation. They know that the ball is going towards the outside, and as this happens, Holyfield stops and just pushes through the middle. He comes back the other way, knowing they're going to overset, knowing they're going to overload one side, lets all that free traffic flow over the top before pulling back and coming back across the current. When it comes to anticipating traffic or following blocks, Holyfield is pretty damn good at knowing where to go. When he's left to make his own decision, that's where things can get a little bit murky, as he often tries to do a little bit too much with the ball in his hands. And this is where development comes in, because at college you can get away with this sort of play because you are the most athletic player on the field. At the NFL level, even in pre-season, the game moves a lot faster, and if you're even so much as a little bit indecisive, you will be punished behind the line of scrimmage. Now, it's interesting because Miles Sanders had that very same concern coming out of college, which is why I'm confident that Juice Staley would be able to coach it out of him, but it doesn't mean it should be ignored right away, especially as a north-south runner, not an east-west runner like Sanders really is. But I do feel like that may be the lone glaring weakness in his game right now, is that when he is a little bit too indecisive and he does try to bounce outside, that he doesn't quite have the speed or the burst that Sanders does to really turn that into a home run. And while there are some great examples of him at least gaining a first down or picking up some extra yards, they don't always translate. Like here, for instance, another brilliant job of pulling defenders in only to bounce outside because he is by far the superior athlete. You see another example here against Kentucky. He actually bends back around the line of scrimmage to try and outpace the DB. That just won't happen at the NFL, and if he does get a bit too hesitant and does try and pull around the outside, he may not end up with the success that he had at the collegiate level. But if there was one thing I was beyond impressed about on his tape, it was his versatility. He's not known as a receiving back in the same way that Jordan Howard wasn't, but believe it or not, during his time with the Carolina Panthers, in 4 preseason games, he had more catches than he did in the entire final season at Georgia. If there is one play that I absolutely love that shows me the hustle and the effort I'd love to see from a back of his nature, it's this one. This is a 2-point attempt. He peels out into the flat. You can see him at the top of your screen. Now the quarterback here is going to have to go into an immense scramble drill to avoid pressure, and I want you to watch who catches this pass and where he catches it from. This is a big bruiser back that had 7 career receptions during his entire college career. Someone that then came out with the hustle and effort to haul that ball in. That is beyond impressive. And to be frank, that's the kind of willingness to adapt, willingness to learn that you need to succeed at the NFL level, to add another tool to your skill set. And then there was this receiving touchdown against the Bears, where he thinks about going through a defender, trying to cut back the other way, thinks better of it, and just powers his way around the edge. So in conclusion, is this man going to be the dream replacement for Jordan Howard? Probably not. And with an off-season now ripped away from him, where there won't be training camp, there won't be an ample opportunity for Juice Staley to really make the most of that period with him to bring him up to speed. But does he have some very raw potential? Could he well be a factor in this backfield? Absolutely. When you look at the evolution of Miles Sanders over a short span, when you look at the evolution of Boston Scott over a short span, I really do think the Eagles could be onto something here with Holyfield. He's a big bruiser, he's powerful, he lowers his pads, he's physical between the tackles, and if the Eagles can't sign a veteran until the late summer, which is when they'll probably aim to do so now, it gives Holyfield at least a chance, at least an opportunity to prove that he does belong in that backfield and that he can provide the answers to the question of who will replace Jordan Howard. Let me know what you think, guys. Do you feel that Elijah Holyfield is going to be the future change of pace, short yardage back in this backfield? Let me know in the comments. Again, I hope you're all keeping safe at this time. Thank you so much for all of your support over the last few months here at Philly Sports Network. We are working on some really cool charity related things to try and help out the communities that are hurting. And if you want to be part of that or have any ideas of how we can do a little bit more for you, please just do tell us. There is contact information in the description, or my Twitter is @LiamJenkinsPSN. Stay safe out there, guys. Thank you once again. We'll see you next time.